He always showed he was touched when music was going on.
This was this series of Baby Einstein, and there was the Schumann scenes from childhood. It started, and he just turned around, went to the TV, and just touched the screen and listened to the whole thing. And I said, you know, this baby has a special connection with music.
Every summer, my parents and I go to Colorado to a Rocky Ridge music camp. There was one year I heard someone playing a piece by Dvorak on the violin. For some reason, I'm not sure why, I went outside with my mom after and I told her that I wanted to play the violin.
Well, she had a very important role in those beginnings. And of course, he loved what he was doing. But I think it's all because of her, you know, how encouraging she was. And she worked with him every day.
But when you see your child learning and getting better and enjoying the activity, then of course it's worth it.
I had my eye on Phillip right from the beginning. He had a really strong and beautiful concept of sound, which I was attracted to. So it was really a pleasure to watch him develop. And then at a certain point, as he started to become more advanced, to have the pleasure of working with him in my studio. With specific kids, you have to teach that part of music where you draw it out, you try to visualize what sort of character. For Phillip, he tends to come to the lessons already with a strong sense of what it is he's trying to project, which I think is unusual. So my job is really then to help make him really powerful as a performer, to refine the technical details so that he's able to speak in a stronger voice.
It's always good to look at the music for a very long time until you have the piece in your head. So practicing a lot definitely makes it a lot easier to have that in your head, to memorize like a tune that you can't stop singing in your head. Well, I usually remember all the advice and tricks and different techniques that Brenda tells me in a lesson. I have post-it notes and a notebook that I usually put the very specific details down so I don't forget them after a lesson, and I make sure to practice that specifically. Brenda makes sure to give me an in-depth understanding of what she wants me to fix and what she wants me to do in a piece, so I can have that in my head clearly whenever I do a performance and when I practice.
For a child of 13 to be able to do this, it's a gift, but it's also a gift of making that commitment and solving those problems and really getting into the practice room and sweating every day.
Phillip put his talent to the test, performing the Kabalevsky Concerto for Indianapolis's New World Youth Orchestra Artist Competition.
When I heard my name, I was really happy and surprised, but I was, of course, nervous that I had to play with an orchestra in front of so many people.
The winner of the Young Artist Competition has the honor to perform with the New World Youth Orchestra at the prestigious Hilbert Circle Theater.
In its first year, only had 18 musicians, and now in its 34th year, we have 220 across 3 orchestras. Over the years, as a conductor, you see lots of talent come in and come out, and the first rehearsal with Phillip, you could tell right away that this is who the winner was supposed to be. What I love about Phillip, he was just so unassuming with the whole thing, so he just came up and he just played like a professional, and he listened to the orchestra and he listened to me, and we tried to collaborate, which is what it should be. And he adjusted if need be, and we adjusted if need be. It's just been very easy to work with him.
Playing in this experience, it was really amazing for the first time to have a full orchestra playing behind you, to have so many different instruments supporting or going against what you played, and there's so much mixing in the sound and so much contrast at the same time. It's just so different than just playing with one other instrument. Just having this opportunity, I think it'll probably give me a lot more courage to play in maybe more of these competitions, or just have more courage within my playing itself. Walking off the stage and hearing all the applause, taking my bow, and finishing that last chord. It was a big relief after so many months of working the piece and so many rehearsals with the orchestra, the hours that I had to put into all that practice. It was definitely a big relief to walk out that stage and knew that I was finally done. But at the same time, I felt a lot of joy because it was a really fun experience, especially since it was such a new one to do as well.
Right after the performance, I hugged him, and of course I was very emotional. He just looked at me and he said, "Why are you crying?" I just had fun, you know.
you see a growth. And it's not a growth of technicality or musicality, it's a growth of confidence, it's a growth of vibrancy of sound or energy. That spark really shines through.
Sacrifice is worth every minute you spend helping your child, even though in the case that they don't become professional musicians. That's going to stay as part of their makeup as human beings. And in the case of Philip, he might decide to be a violinist or he might not. We need to leave that door open for him, even though he does have a passion for the violin. But who knows, you know.
We all have been together as a team to help him learn to play the violin, to take him every step of the way from the Twinkle through Kabalevsky and beyond. He's matured a tremendous amount. He's always been a special kid right from the get-go. He has a story to tell. When you hear him, he puts his heart and soul into his playing, which I think is something that's quite unusual. It's a huge charge to be able to stand up and make music and move people through your music making, and I think that's really special.